Drinking me.
Oh, have you seen my my comment on the New Year's special?
I saw it. That was fucking funny. What was it? An emofin?
An emofin.
That's awesome. Oh God. You know we were just kidding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was worried about that. I was like, that is it. Like when you look at it out of context, it looks really mean, but when you watch it in context, I don't think it's that mean. Anyway, so, hello everyone, I am Bill Worster, better known to you all as Zazubaar, and joining me as always, I have Super DM64.
Hello.
And welcome to the, what is it, episode 7?
I thought the last one was 7.
Alright, so it's episode 8. Of the Demons from Outer Space podcast.
Wait, I'm going to verify this shit. I'm going to look at your playlist.
It's either 7 or 8, because I know that 6 was Walking with Proto-Jesus. I'm not sure if Motherfucking Christmas was 7 or 8, though.
Okay.
Oh, so wait, it would have had to have been 7, right?
Oh yeah, Motherfucking Christmas was 7, so we are currently recording episode 8.
Alright, so episode 8. Of the Demons from Outer Space.
The first episode in the year 2014.
It's an episode of the future, Dylan. All those other episodes, they're in the past now. This is the second year of operation for the Demons from Outer Space, kind of. We started at the end of 2013, so it's not quite it's not a year in the traditional sense of saying it, but 2014 is our second year of operation here at the Demons from Outer Space. We are pushing forward into the barracks of Seatopia, and we're going to conquer them just like they conquered the Earth back in the 70s. It's going to be big. You should be there.
I remember the Seatopian regime. Mm-hmm. It's insane.
Yeah, they fell in the 70s, and now they're rising back up in the 2000s. It's a whole new Reich. It's terrible. Dylan, speaking of Demons from Outer Space, I have done 2 reviews of the same thing in one day over the past week that we've been away, because we didn't do the show last week, as I'm sure our loyal fans know.
No, I mean the live show was kind of like an episode of DFOS. It had all the technical glitches and all, but
right, yeah. Well, we haven't had any major things except for your internet crapping out in the middle of the first episode, but they wouldn't even know that. Yeah, that was kind of that. I mean, it was me and you talking. I mean, we had Ian and Adam come in at varying points, but it was basically Demons from Outer Space in as much as it was you and I shooting the shit over various things.
Except perhaps a little bit more focused.
It was a lot more focused. Though, again, it was focused as much as we knew we were going to talk about, but the fucking tech glitches were horrible. I still cannot figure out whether or not it's my computer not being able to host a Google Plus call, or if it's my computer telling me, you fucking fat shit, stop putting things on my hard drive that are meaningless. Because my computer is 2 years old last week, exactly last week, because I got it the day after Christmas.
I would like to believe that it's the second one, because that's awesome.
Around my computer is like, you fucking fat piece of shit, stop putting things in my hard drive. That's going on a t-shirt. Yeah, I got it 2 years ago last week. And exactly since I got it, I have been putting shit on this computer just constantly. And about 95% of it pertaining to YouTube, so it's all, in the eyes of the perceiver, being perceived as pointless. Like, most people have, like, important documents on their computer. They do their taxes on their computers. They do their banking. They have family photos. I have YouTube videos. Lots and lots of YouTube videos. So I have to go through it and do some housekeeping, though, because it gets so fun.
Many of them well over an hour long.
Many of them excruciatingly long, because I like to talk, as this show has shown. I have to go through and do some house cleaning. I need to get rid of the stuff that's on YouTube and the stuff that is over with. Like, I'm currently working on deleting everything from high school. At least all the smaller things like homework assignments and stuff, like, individual, like, assignments on books and stuff from English and history. I'm keeping, like, I think I'm just going to keep, like, the papers and stuff, like, actual research papers and shit for just for, like, prosperity. Like, I can look back at them in 10 years and go, these are so badly written.
Right. You don't have to keep those in your hard drive, though. You can get some removable storage, put them in some flash drives or what have you.
I just bought a well, I didn't buy myself. I got for Christmas a portable hard drive. It's called a WD Passport, and it's fucking pretty big. I think it's 485 gigs, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm putting stuff on here. I'm rendering all the new podcasts on this hard drive. DFOS and SOS are both going on this hard drive. And anything that is not immediately important to YouTube or my YouTube or my current college is going on there.
Yeah.
The other thing is, though, everybody tells me, everybody who I hang out with on YouTube and stuff who also produces content of their own keeps telling me, like, why don't you just delete the videos once they're uploaded? Because they're on YouTube anyway in case you need to, like, download them again. And, so why keep them on your hard drive? And that makes sense to me. Like, God forbid you ever get a new computer. It's right there. You can just download it right to your hard drive again. And I did that with Godzilla Palooza because I got a new computer in between Godzilla Palooza. Or no, actually I didn't. Oh, I'm lying. What happened was everything on my computer got erased due to a virus following Godzilla Palooza. So I lost it all that way. So I had to wipe my memory. So I had to re-download it because that's like one of the things. It's like if I lose Godzilla Palooza, I will pull hair out because that is major. I spent a lot of time on that.
You need to burn that shit on some DVD.
Yeah, I really do, because if I lose that, like, my concern is my channel gets deleted.
Right.
That would be my major concern, or it gets suspended or something. That's my major concern. So if that happens, then I am going to flip shit. Especially with Godzilla Palooza and the podcast. Those are my major things, because if I lose them, then I will cry.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose like some random review of like a Milk Dud or something, then it's not really that big of a deal.
Because I have those.
But if it's well, you reviewed a cookie one time.
That was for a contest. If that I'm going to say this, if that gets lost, I'm not going to cry over it. I have had to delete stuff in the past, though, that I didn't have saved on my computer. Biggest example of this is Adam and I, early on in our YouTube relationship, that sounds so gay. We did commentary. I love that Dylan's just like, well, all things considered. We did a commentary. We went on Mystery Science Theater on the movie Night of the Lepus. I don't know if you've seen it.
The movie or the commentary?
Both.
No.
No on both accounts?
No on both accounts.
One of them is a good thing. And I won't tell you which one.
Oh my.
But that commentary got deleted, and the reason was I thought that I would be safe posting the actual movie as part of it. Because fucking who gives a shit about Night of the Lepus?
Well, apparently it's not free domain.
I didn't think it was public domain, but it was on YouTube for free. So I assumed, oh, okay, it'll be fine if I post it, right? Apparently not. So I got in trouble for it, and I lost all the one of them got removed for third-party content. And I figured if one of the parts is gone, what the fuck is the point of keeping the rest of them?
Yeah, and how long before they remove the others and I start getting strikes and can't do long videos for fucking months?
Yeah, that was my concern. So I deleted all of them, and I wish I had at least downloaded the rest of them first, because that thing is definitely at least nostalgic in some way, because it's very early. It's early shadows of what SOS would become.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just nice to have in that regard. Like, that's why I'm thankful that we'll hopefully always have those early chats that we always did with, like the World War G stuff and the chats I did with David and Adam. So I'm hoping that those will stay on there. This is not what we were going to talk about tonight.
No, it was not.
Dylan, we have somewhat of a topic at least to get us rolling. So Dylan, what are we going to talk? And this, I actually mentioned this earlier, and I went completely off track. Dylan, what are you and I, going to be talking about tonight on the Demons from Outer Space?
We are going to be talking about this little television event that people may or may not have heard about. I mean,
if you haven't heard about it, don't worry. It's nothing major.
I mean, kind of a minor thing. It's not like we replaced any actors or anything. I mean,
no, it was a standalone episode of a show that very few people watch.
Not very
no
popular
stake
at all.
whatsoever.
A few years ago, this would have been true.
Yeah, just like, it's funny that we do this with Doctor Who, because just like, if we would have been saying this stuff like 5 years ago, people would be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, I know when I first became a fan, like, all the way back in 2008, this was very...
All the way back in the year 2008!
I was, yeah, I was a Doctor Who fan before it was cool, what of it. Anyway,
Fuck you.
No, I mean, that was very much so the case at that time, and that was not that long ago. I mean, that was just 2008. I mean,
it's funny because I would say that the show, David Tennant definitely was the bridge that made the show popular in the U.S., but Matt Smith is the Doctor that everybody knew when it became popular in the U.S. Like when you would see it on billboards and shit.
I used to look at people and think David Tennant's your first Doctor. Pff, noob. Now I'm like, Matt Smith's your first Doctor.
That's a major thing now, and it happens because he was the guy, because David Tennant became popular near the end of his run in the U.S. Hang on one second. Let me close my door because my family are a bunch of fucking maniacs. Hang on one second. Sorry about that.
So about this thing in July.
I may have to leave that in now because that's fucking funny. So, Time of the Doctor. I did 2 reviews on it already. My thoughts are well known. Dylan, what'd you think of the departure of the 11th Doctor?
In terms of the regeneration itself, it was very good. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Other than one little tiny complaint as far as the quickness of the actual face change itself. I mean, he sneezes and he's a different actor.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Other than that, the entire regeneration I thought was handled very well. I thought it had a lot more dignity than David Tennant's regeneration. As someone who
people have said that, yeah. I don't know if
I'm not really a huge fan of it. Well, End of Time's kind of hit or miss with me. It's weird, but
yeah, definitely.
As far as the episode overall, it was very good. It answered a lot of questions that I've had, but I don't know. I think it was. We've definitely had better.
Yeah, I would say so. It wasn't as good as Day of the Doctor, for sure.
You had mentioned a problem to me before about the pacing, like the passage of time doesn't really work. That's sort of a problem. I don't know. It's just overall, it definitely wasn't what I expected it to be. I don't think it was.
No. Well, here's the thing. It isn't, because it bills itself in the trailers as this big, huge battle. And that's definitely what happens. But the thing is, we don't see much of it until the very end. It's all done through narration. And what we do see of it, it's not what it's set up to be, because Trenzalore is billed as this fucking huge fucking the 11th Doctor, the Doctor in general's final fucking stand, and it's going to be a bloody, enormous, gargantuan conflict filled with broken promises and death and destruction. The Doctor is going to question whether or not he's still the Doctor. Because, it's the end of the Doctor's life. He's spent all his regenerations. Mm-hmm. And he ends up just protecting a nice, quiet little town.
Yeah.
From a bunch of monsters.
Called Christmas.
Who seem to be very, very slow at coming down.
The title of the show, the title of the town is Christmas.
Yeah. Somehow, which they never fucking explain that. Why it's called that.
I'm assuming it's just an alien word that means something else, but is pronounced the same.
Look at the town. They've got Christmas lights up, and they clearly celebrate Christmas because that's what the last moments of it are.
Well, yeah, you kind of stretch it in that way. Maybe it was colonized by humans. Maybe those aren't aliens. Maybe those are human colonists.
Who the fuck can tell and who? My biggest annoyance with the series is when they do aliens who look like humans, but they do it in a way where they act like people. My biggest pet peeve with this is fucking Voyage of the Damned.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor materializes on this gigantic space boat called the Titanic II, which apparently is supposed to not be as insensitive as it sounds.
At least it's not an animated musical.
Or at least it's not an Asylum movie. How the fuck did the Asylum get away with that without any controversies made over it? Like, Miley Cyrus sticks her tongue out at a camera. Everybody loses their mind. The Asylum makes a movie. Everybody loses their minds! Fucking the Asylum makes a movie about a real disaster and then trivializes it into a disaster movie way more than James Cameron did and gives it a fucking sequel. And nobody says anything. I was shocked. I was like, how is that not insensitive?
I think people let the Asylum get away with a lot because their expectations from them aren't very high anyway.
It's because, yeah.
And besides that, definitely. They've gotten to the point now where when Asylum first started doing what they were doing, they were just bad and annoying. Now they've gotten to this point where what they do is kind of awesome. Like the movies they're making now are still bad, but they know,
but they're bad in the right way.
Yeah, they know how to do it now, so people
they're making modern 50s B movies is what they're doing.
People are starting to enjoy what they do, and so we kind of look the other way when they Titanic 2.
That's one of the hiccups though, because it's not like this over the top. I suppose it is in a way, but it's not like this over the top fucking goofy movie. It's a literal real disaster, and they make a modern sequel to it. But doesn't it just seem like a terrible idea to name your ship after one that went down? Isn't that like a sailor's curse?
Yeah, that's like saying, this is my plane. What did you name it? Hindenburg.
Hindenburg 2.0. It's good luck, no? No. It just seems stupid to me. So then in fucking Doctor Who, it's not as insensitive because they're aliens, and aliens, they don't know any better.
Aliens who have absolutely no conception of human history.
Well, you would think, but then where'd they get the name from, and why do they call it 2?
Well, that's the thing. They know about human history, but they misinterpret it. That's why you have that professor who's trying to explain to them what Christmas is.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. But here's my point. And I'm blaming this on the episode, because the way they set it up, this looks like the future.
Yeah.
It's all humans on this ship. They're interacting with aliens, with, like, noticeable aliens. And they dress like people. They talk like people. They look like people. They're in a ship that's named after a human ship, so I assume, they must be fucking humans in the future. And then they start talking about Earth nowadays, and I'm like, wait a minute. We're not in the future? And then the Doctor addresses them as all being aliens, and I'm like, how does this make sense? How? At least put them in alien clothes.
The only one that looks like an alien is the little red guy who commits...
Yeah, there are aliens on the ship, but you don't see them, but that's why you would think it's in the future. Not just like now, but with them all being aliens.
Yeah, there's a problem in Who of just saying these are aliens, but they look exactly like humans.
Well, I'm okay with it when they make it clear. Like, I don't mind the Time Lords looking like people.
No, but you can't.
As long as they.
But the problem is you can't do that for every single alien race.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a cost-effective measure at its worst. I mean, it kind of reminds me of 70s Godzilla, where every fucking alien race looked Japanese.
Yeah.
In this universe, everyone's British.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, with it being a cost measure, though, gone are the days when Doctor Who had no budget, you know? Like, they could have...
there's no excuse now.
They could afford, even Star Trek, when it was at its, when it was brand new, at least slap a prosthetic on, or...
Like, they would add, like, a tumor on the neck.
Or something, yeah, or a weird-looking eyebrow. Something to tell me that this is not...
I mean, that's where the Vulcans came from. It was... I mean, and it was weird because it was so fucking heralded, but it was so easy.
It was like...
Like, literally, John Chambers made this guy's ears pointy. They've been doing that since the beginning of Christmas movies with elves.
Yeah, they just gave him pointy ears, and they did something very interesting with Spock's eyebrows. That's about it.
Right. And they were like, oh!
And they all have bowl cuts, apparently.
Yeah, and they're all just like, oh! And and everybody in TV land was like, oh my god, that's so fucking original. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's easy. And then you go to Who, and even classic Who would usually... Like, I was watching some classic Who yesterday. I was watching a John Pertwee story called Carnival of Monsters, in which, I forget the I didn't get through the whole thing. But the opening is this rocket setting down on this alien world, and they're people, but they at least painted them silver. They at least were perceived as aliens, and then you get to Who, it's a modern Who, and sometimes they're just like, yeah, they're people.
Yeah.
They just happen to be people. Don't worry about it. And they dress like people, too.
They're just aliens that look like humans. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, it drives me insane, especially in Voyage of the Damned, because they don't tell you at all that these are supposed to be aliens. And it's even more annoying because they've got suits and cell phones, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's aggravating beyond all hell, and that's partially why Voyage of the Damned was one of my least favorite episodes. Other reason being, it's too fucking long.
It is. It's a very long episode, and it doesn't need to be.
No, it's so simple. They did the exact same story. I mean, it's Poseidon Adventure in Space is what it is.
Pretty much.
And they did the exact same story last season with 42, which, guess what? That's another episode I don't like.
I mean, hell, it's Titanic in space.
In space!
We're Jews in space.
Now that's how See, if the Asylum made a movie called Titanic in Space, tell me that doesn't get, like... No, it gets positive reception because it's so fucking stupid and it's in line with what they do. Like, they did this once before. They took Moby Dick, and then they set it in the year 2010 on a futuristic battle cruiser fighting a monster prehistoric whale. That is genius.
That is genius.
And they made Captain Ahab, played by Barry Bostwick, fucking shooting this fucker down with missiles. It's genius. It's terrible, but it's terrible genius.
Hell, they took sharks and put them in a tornado.
I mean, that's different. I'm saying, something that should be classy and make it not classy.
Let's take the two things that everybody loves in disaster movies and just put them together.
It is pretty genius, though, isn't it? Like, literally, everybody loves natural disasters and everybody loves sharks, so throw them together. They've done every other kind of tornado. Like, they did lightning tornado, ice tornado.
They've done every kind of shark imaginable.
Yeah, monster shark, prehistoric shark, future shark, shark person, whatever. Sharktopus. I'm so mad they haven't done a sequel to Sharktopus, and they were supposed to. They were supposed to do Sharktopus versus some other thing.
I would love to watch Sharktopus versus some other thing.
No, they just need to do like a Destroy All Monsters type movie with all their fucking whacked up creations.
Sharktopus versus Gothopotamus.
Go watch the new Sons of SERIZAWA podcast to get that reference. Fucking Sharktopus versus Mega Shark versus Sharktopus. Why not? Why not, Dylan? Tell me, why not?
No, how would that work?
Sharktopus versus
I'm trying to imagine what would you call it if you had a tornado of Sharktopus?
Sharkpano.
Sharkpano.
That might be the episode title right there.
Sharktopus.
Sharkpano.
Sharktopus.
No.
Sharktopus versus Orctopus.
Oh, where's Orcasploitation? I need Orcasploitation. I love killer whales. I know that they're, Blackfish opens up your eyes to this world of torture for these poor animals, but come on. Orcas kill great white sharks. Let's do something with the orcas.
Let's give some...
There's only been one monster movie in history that used orca as the monster, and even then, it wasn't exactly a monster movie.
Give us Orcasploitation.
Orca and Canadasploitation.
There are only so many times that we can rewatch Blackfish.
Yes! Yes, I want killer whales hunting people down. That's all I want in this world. All I want.
I mean, we have an orca kaiju, but it's going to take a while for that to get in, for anything to be done with that.
Yeah, we have a gigantic mutant orca. But, we're lazy, so we're not going to do anything with it right away. Come on, Hollywood. Come on, fuck Hollywood. Hollywood's never going to do anything like this. Asylum. I want Orcasquid. I want a squid mixed with an orca.
Yes.
I don't know how the logistics of it work, but make it work for me, Asylum. That's all I want in this world is I want to wake up tomorrow and I want to go on IMDb and Orcasquid is a thing.
And have it fight Sharktopus. It's perfect.
And have it... No, you need to do a setup movie where you set up Orcasquid and his universe and his fucking villains and all that shit.
His villains? Orcasquid is a superhero.
Yes, fuck monsters. He's a superhero. And he goes around stopping crime by, lifting himself out of the water with his tentacles, and he goes over and he eats criminals.
He defends the seven seas, because in all reality, Aquaman's a bit of a pussy. So
yeah, Aquaman is a pussy. So fucking Orcasquid is the savior of the high seas. So, fuck it. He's like Aquaman, but he actually does shit. He fights Somalian pirates.
Yes.
Fuck Captain Phillips. This motherfucker is Captain Orcasquid.
He fights Alaskan SeaWorld fisher boat captains.
What?
People.
Wait, what are you referring to?
The people in Blackfish that hunt down the orcas.
Oh, they don't do that anymore.
Well, if they would in the movie, Bill.
All right, fine. In our fictionally, no, we go back in time and we do the origin of Orcasquid, and it was an 80 because it stopped in the 80s. So let's say we do an 80s experiment. At least I don't think it happens anymore. No, I was watching a documentary, another one that was kind of covering some of the same ground as Blackfish, why SeaWorld is evil.
Wait, what if they're still doing it and covering it up because the whole time they're doing sick experiments to create potbelly orcas?
And then the accidental fucking offspring of this experiment, Orcasquid.
I don't know why they were mixing orcas with squids in an attempt to make potbelly orcas. But...
Well, Dylan, they wanted to get to potbelly orcas quicker. Because as we established in an episode on Blackfish, that shit would take hundreds of years.
So mixing it with a squid makes it faster?
Yes!
Okay.
In the world of Orcasquid, squids make everything smaller.
Okay.
I don't know how this works. I'm not saying I know the logistics, but I know the premise. So we make Orcasquid. Orcasquid kills everybody in the lab. It's like that scene out of Spider-Man 2. And Orcasquid kills everybody. And then Orcasquid, since they're so intelligent, we also find out that in an attempt to allow the Orcasquid to be more cooperative with humans, they inserted human brain cells so that way Orcasquid can communicate better with people and be a more suitable candidate for performances. So Dylan, what I'm trying to say is Orcasquid's going to be able to talk.
Yes.
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 Tell me this isn't amazing.
We have all this symbolism in the movie about how Orcasquid is really Orca Jesus.
Yeah. It's like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Orcas. With Orcasquid as their Caesar.
SeaWorld is Dylan, demanding that people turn in Orcasquid, and Orcasquid's in a church asking a priest what he should do.
Orca of Steel.
Orca of Steel.
So tell me you don't go to see this movie. Who's our voice of of Orcasquid because I want him to be able to speak.
Morgan Freeman.
No, that's too nice. It needs to be. We need a celebrity who's had it rough.
That's why it would be even better. You have Morgan Freeman's nice voice. I'm gonna kick your ass.
My name is Orcasquid, and I'm here to kick your ass. No, we need something. We need
My
something
name
a lot.
Is Orcasquid.
No. We need. Dylan, we need a celebrity who's down and out. We need somebody who hasn't been in a good movie in a long time. He's been doing flops, and now he's doing Orcasquid in order to get back in the hearts and minds of children everywhere. So, Dylan, I propose to you that the voice of Orcasquid is done by none other than Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Marty Riggs is fucking Orcasquid.
It's got to be either him or Will Smith.
No, Will Smith is still too rich. Mel Gibson is like in danger, so he needs there has to be stakes involved, Dylan. You see?
Yeah, but could you imagine Will Smith? I'm more. Oh.
I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Eddie Murphy as Orcasquid.
Eddie Murphy as Orcasquid.
Hey, I'm Orcasquid. I'm gonna fuck your shit up. What's going on?
Orcasquid needs to be black, Bill.
Yes, basically what I'm saying is Orcasquid is gonna be black.
He needs to be black.
Idris Elba as Orcasquid.
Tonight I'm canceling the 5:30.
Tonight I'm canceling the Shamu show.
Tonight I am canceling the schedule for the shooting of Free Willy 6.
It'll be Free Willy 5, Dylan.
Well, I didn't know how many there were. I just took a shot in the dark. I'm off by one. It's not that bad.
Dylan, I grew up on Free Willy. Don't insult that shit.
Fuck Free Willy.
Fuck you, no.
I still say it sounds like an old guy running around Commando. Who named their orca movie Free Willy?
Wait a minute. Hang on. Free Willy is about a guy running around going Commando. That's fucking genius. Is he flashing people?
I don't know.
Well, that's an important plot detail, Dylan. Is he flashing people? Is he pulling out? Is he freeing his Willy? This
would make the whole plot point about how Free Willy befriends the little boy much more disturbing.
Oh shit! No, it's not about the whale. The whale is a background character. It's all about the Native American character, Randall.
In reality, Free Willy is all about the genocide of the American Indians.
Oh, God, no, it's really not. I wouldn't even overanalyze Free Willy to say that it is. Oh, God. See, I can't say Free Willy is a bad movie only because I grew up on it, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. So, despite whether or not it objectively is a bad movie, I can never say that it is. Dylan's silence is reaffirming his joke.
I see. I don't have the nostalgia for Free Willy other than the commercials on the Batman TAS VHS.
See, it was the opposite. I have nostalgia for Phantasm because it was on the Free Willy VHS.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I got. Free Willy got me into Batman. I'm gonna say it now.
Free Willy is Batman.
That fucking whale is Batman.
Orcasquid running around Gotham, rounding up crime.
I mean, at least the message of that movie is positive, despite the quality.
Oh, that's the other great thing about Orcasquid. Given that he's a mammal, he could come up on land and fight crime too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. And he can retain. There's this fucking like something in his skin that allows him to retain moisture longer.
Yeah, he would have to have something like that.
Right, exactly. He has like moisture inhibitors. So Orcasquid is voiced by either Mel Gibson or an angry black actor, like Dave Chappelle.
Yes, Dave Chappelle.
Either Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock. Chris Rock would be amazing.
All the names that come to mind when you think of angry black actors.
Chris Rock is in one of the Beverly Hills Cops movies, but which one is it? It's either 2 or 3. Because the first one, Damian Wayans makes a cameo. And if you watch Beverly Hills Cop...
Damian Wayne makes a cameo? Wow, that was before its time.
Damian Wayans. The fucking, oh god. You remember My Wife and Kids, that show from the early 2000s?
Yeah, I knew who you were talking about, Bill.
Okay, see, in my mind, I was like, he's gonna fuck this up, so I need to reinstate who it is. He's gonna make the Batman joke.
I just did make the Batman joke. I'm done with the Batman joke. The Batman joke has been made.
In my mind, I knew you were gonna, so I was like, okay, Bill, carefully say it. Damian Wayans. And you apparently still made the Batman joke.
Yeah, because the Batman joke was too good to pass up, so I just said, fuck that shit, I'm gonna do the Batman joke.
I think it's 2. He plays a valet. Yeah, it's definitely 2. He plays a valet at the Playboy Mansion because Foley and Rosewood drive up this fucking cement truck, and they park it at the Playboy Mansion, and Chris Rock is the valet. And I remember that because he goes, limos, cars are 10, limos are 20. What the fuck am I gonna do with this shit?
So Chris Rock is a valet.
Basically, he's basically playing himself as a valet.
Does he and a German guy ride into a plantation?
No, I can't say that he does. What's that from?
That's a Django reference.
Chris Rock was in...
Yeah, I know.
That's Jamie Foxx.
I know, Bill.
I didn't even connect that. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Just because when you said he was playing a valet, it reminded me of that line from Django where he says, you will be playing the part of the valet, and Jamie Foxx...
Oh, that's right, okay.
And Jamie Foxx is like, what's that?
Wait, is that the scene where he puts on the dressy-looking thing?
He's got the blue shirt with, the frilly thing, and then the one slave is like, oh, so you want to look like that? And I guess that's when he decided that look wasn't working for him.
And then he starts dressing like a badass. I fucking love Django. Such a good movie. There's a lot of young up-and-coming black comedians who make cameos in the Beverly Hills Cop movies. There was another one. Oh, there's a couple of, there's just not even to say black, just to make it more racially broad. Like a lot of comedians who would become really famous later. Like fucking Gilbert Gottfried makes a cameo in Beverly Hills Cop 2. There's a bunch of them. It's really funny when you see them because they're clearly there because they're up and coming.
Everyone's favorite up and coming black comedian, Gilbert Gottfried.
Who makes jokes about the Japanese earthquake. I thought that was kind of a little bit stretching that he got fired for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unprecedented. This is the guy that made the joke too soon after 9/11, and you knew what you were getting into when you hired him to be your duck.
Although you got to give Affleck credit for fucking doing jokes about the fact that his voice is different now.
Yeah.
I think that was really clever of them. They're still terrible commercials, but that was clever of them.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, I really enjoyed the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Look for my review coming soon. I did a review on the whole franchise. That's coming soon. So anyway, Dylan, back to Orcasquid. Eddie Murphy as fucking Orcasquid.
Perfect.
Did I make that joke already?
Yes, you did.
Oh, damn it, okay.
I don't know if we...
You got me on Beverly Hills Cop, and now I can't get off.
I don't know if we can get much more mileage out of Orcasquid.
Well, I mean... alright, fine. I want to see Orcasquid. That's all I want. And he needs to speak, because I'm sick of, The Asylum cannot jump the shark. Let's just say this. It's never going to happen, because it happened when they made their first movie. They literally jumped, fucking... Mega Shark.
They keep inventing new sharks and then jumping over them.
Exactly. And then they start lining them up and jumping over all of them at the same time. So there's nothing they're going to do that's going to come off as too over the top. So just fucking do Orcasquid, where Orcasquid talks.
Are you listening, guy who writes Asylum movies?
There's a guy who writes Asylum movies? I thought they were all fucking improv off of, weed sessions. Here's how I imagine a meeting goes at the Asylum. It's like The Circle from that 70s show. They sit in a circle, and they smoke weed, and they come up with insane movie ideas. And when one sticks, they film it. And they just improv the whole thing. And then the special effects guy comes in and adds in effects where they count.
Yes. perfect.
This is how I imagine it works. That's not a terrible idea for a web series. You just do like a That 70s Show type show where you do a circle with a bunch of what is it? Oh, fuck! I'm in film school and I don't remember what it's called. A bunch of medium shots of the people, and they just fucking talk. It's just a conversation. You can even do it. You could do it as like a written podcast too.
Yeah.
Where you just gotta have a bunch of fucking movie asylum workers who get fucking baked and talk about their next movie.
Problem is, it would require quite a bit more work than what we do.
No, I mean, obviously. I'm saying it would definitely have to be written. I'm not saying it would be as long as ours are. I might do that. That's actually not a terrible idea. It's totally feasible, too, because you wouldn't have to show anything.
No.
Just do the conversations. Dylan, I may have just come up with a new web series. Nobody steal that. Copyright Bill Worcester, Dylan McCandless, 2014. First copyright... I'm going to say this. This might be the first copyrighted thing of 2014.
I don't know. We're on the second day.
So if we were recording this at midnight 2014, we may have been the first copyrighted thing of 2014.
Yeah, like, I don't know how fast copyrights get done, so we might be.
But also this is not officially copyrighted. But this might be the first thing that was, like, said to be copyrighted in 2014.
Yeah, it's copyright pending.
Copyright pending, yeah. Just like Musla.
Yeah, like Musla. Don't steal that shit, people. We will kill you.
Don't steal that shit. We worked hard on that. All 10 minutes of it.
All 10 minutes of it.
Dylan worked significantly longer because he drew them, but we just literally talked out of our ass for 10 minutes and came up with Musla.
And then I put a reindeer nose on him, okay? He's mine.
He's mine. You're just, like, grabbing him. One of the members of Santa SERIZAWA broke down earlier today as he started grabbing at something that didn't exist, claiming it was his.
Once you dress a character up for Christmas, damn it, you get pretty connected.
That's the whole thing. Once you dress a character up for Christmas, they become yours.
That's the copyright law of the land. Didn't you know that?
So when fucking Matt Smith came down the chimney in Christmas Carol of season 5 of Doctor Who, the guy who put that stuff on him was like, Steven, Doctor Who now belongs to me.
Yes.
That guy now owns Doctor Who and owns the character of the Doctor.
It's Moffat's fault for not knowing the laws.
Right, exactly. Moffat's an idiot. Stephen Moffat is an idiot.
I mean, mind you, I don't know if it works the same way in England.
But that's definitely how it works in the U.S. No questions about it.
No questions.
That's just how it works. Dylan, back to Time of the Doctor.
I don't know how else it could work. Oh yeah, we were reviewing something, weren't we?
Yeah, we were talking about Time of the Doctor. What did you think of the? See, here's the thing. I think my favorite part of it was the first 15 minutes because it's kind of a rapid fire. I talked about this in both reviews I did, so I'll be brief with it. Which you can check out on Ian's channel, Ian Harrington's channel. And Deadpoolzilla's channel. And in both reviews I said this. The first 10 minutes are really good because everything you like about Matt Smith's Doctor is in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's jokey, he's serious, he gives a speech about Geek, because there's that moment where he starts telling handles about Gallifrey. Everything is there. I think
he has a pet Cyberman.
Yeah, he has a pet Cyberman. What do you think of the Handles, the pet Cyberman?
I loved Handles, the pet Cyberman. I wish he hadn't died. I would love to have more of Handles.
Wasn't it so insane how sad you got, though? Like, I got really sad over that, but he's a character who was just introduced this episode.
I mean, because you can just imagine all the great stuff they could have done with Handles, the pet Cyberman.
Oh, fuck Sarah Jane. He needs a spinoff, and fuck K9. He deserves a spinoff. Handles the series.
Handles the pet Cyberman should be the new K9. I want Peter Capaldi to rebuild him.
Yes, he needs to get a new one, and he needs to hang around with it, and that'll be his new companion. He's going to ditch Clara for Handles.
Yes.
Because Peter Capaldi is going to be like, well, you abandoned me for 300 years. Handles was there for me. You sent me back in time of your own volition.
And I kept coming back.
That didn't stop you. Well, you could have come back sooner.
He's terrible at sending her away. He did a much better job of sending Rose away back when he was Eccleston.
Yeah, though that was weird because he was able to fuck it. Because she was here. I love how the TARDIS, one of the main consoles, is able to be ripped open with a truck.
Yes.
That seems insanely simple to me. Like, Mickey steals a fucking tow truck and is able to rip open the TARDIS console with the hook. That seems wrong to me. I don't know why.
This incredibly advanced alien technology torn apart with a truck.
Yes. I mean, I guess it makes sense because I think only the exterior of the TARDIS is supposed to be invincible. Though apparently the Titanic was able to crash into it. I don't understand how that works.
I don't understand why there's a Titanic, so...
I mean, it's just there for a cliffhanger.
And he's like...
Because he literally fixes it just by pressing a button.
He's just like, what?
And God knows how that fucked up history. Unless he materialized inside of the iceberg. Right?
Well, there was no iceberg because this...
No. Hang on. Let me... that was not the Titanic, too. That was the actual Titanic that he crashed into.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Dylan, it was. Because when it crashes into him, it's clearly a boat, not the spaceship. And it says just Titanic on it. What? Because remember the float comes down.
Yeah, but then why would he go to the Titanic in space?
Irony.
That makes no sense, Phil.
It doesn't, but it happened. Rewatch that scene. Commenters, tell me who's right, Dylan or me.
It doesn't, because they make no indication in the actual episode that is the original Titanic.
I'm gonna look this up because I know that it's the original Titanic.
Because the whole purpose of the thing was that it was supposed to look like the original Titanic, and obviously it did its job because it's got use node.
Hang on. You sure?
Yeah.
I thought on the outside it looked like a spaceship, not the Titanic.
No, it actually looked like a big Titanic on the outside.
Did it? Doctor Who. I'm gonna look. I haven't seen it. Now let me just say this: I don't like it, so I didn't pay that much attention to it. So hang on.
Yeah, but I mean, a giant cruise ship coming out of the sky and almost crashing into Buckingham Palace isn't something you forget.
Oh, it does look like the Titanic.
And
hang on.
They make no reference in the episode to make me think that was the actual Titanic. That's why I'm like, what? I mean...
Hang on. Let's see.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but...
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. Damn it.
You're damn right, I'm right.
The original one. Why would there be floats on the outside? It's a fucking spaceship.
They wanted to dress it up like the original Titanic.
Why?
I don't know.
But it's like they even weathered it.
Because it's a terrible episode, that's why.
I don't know if it's terrible. I mean, it's got that good speech in it.
Yeah, that's the good part.
I'm the Doctor. I'm a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey and the constellation of Kasterborous. I'm 907 years old, and I'm going to save your life. Have you got a problem with that?
Yeah, that's the good part of it. The bad.
That's true. I don't like the companion in that episode either.
That's weird.
Why the fuck would they put floats on the outside of it? That's so stupid.
I don't know. It makes more sense to me than him crashing into the original Titanic and then going to a space Titanic, though. Like, I give Russell T. Davies crap, but that just makes no narrative sense.
Oh, that's stupid, too. It's fucking... It's feature length. I didn't even realize it's feature length.
What, the episode?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's an hour and a half, isn't it?
It must be. Hang on. Well, I know the Christmas specials are like an hour and 15, so that's not, like, impossible, but I don't remember it being that long. Oh, it's... No, it's not. It's not feature length. They're kind of bullshitting there. But it's longer than a normal episode.
It's too long.
It's true. 90 minutes is fucking too long for an episode of Doctor Who. Even if it's a two-parter, like, splitting it up is not just there because of time constraints. It's also, it gives you, like, some space, you know what I mean? Like, it just gives you time to breathe. Oh, back to Time of the Doctor. You still there?
I'm here.
Okay. So Dylan, what else were your feelings? Aside from the end, we'll talk about the end in detail, but what were your other feelings, basic feelings?
I mean, yeah, there's kind of a question about why it's so hard for all these aliens to take over this town.
It's true. I have no idea why they have such a hard time fucking invading this town and take... Because clearly they're able to do it. Well, oh, wait a minute. Wasn't there a force field?
Because they're always saying, no, there's like a truth field that makes it to where you can't lie.
No, but there was something that the Superior... Fuck, what was it? Mother Superium? Whatever her name was, that chick.
Oh yeah, she was putting some kind of protection around the planet, so you had to get through them before you could actually get onto the planet.
Right.
But
somehow the Angels the Angels are so weird because they pop up briefly as a cameo and then they never show up again.
Yeah, and I mean obviously they're able to send agents through every now and then because we have the wooden Cybermen, which I thought was a neat idea. Yeah,
I thought the reason that got through was because nothing technological could get through.
So I guess you're right. I guess that makes sense. I guess it actually does make sense that they're having such a hard time taking over this town. Now that you remind me of the Silence's involvement, I'm just thinking a lot of times they over exaggerate. Like I get it, all these monsters are afraid of the Doctor, and he's very clever, but he's still only one guy.
No, but I mean I like that how scared they are of him. Oh, but that reminds me. As much as I hated the ending of Asylum of the Daleks with them removing the Doctor from the Daleks' memory, the way that gets resolved here is so fucking stupid.
It's just like, we got it back. Meh.
Skeletor, meh. Meh. I now learned the location of He-Man in Eternia. You mean the Doctor. That's exactly what I meant. He-Man.
Now we're going to exterminate He-Man.
Skeletor becomes a Dalek. He's got that eye stalk coming out of his forehead, and he's got the blaster in his hand. How does that work, by the way?
The eye stalk in the forehead?
Yeah.
You got
like, I get it. They genetically become Daleks, but that's not what a Dalek is. A Dalek is a little squid thing.
Yeah, I just thought it was an implant, kind of like the forehead thing from Season 1.
I guess. Alright, fine. But how does the metal get in there?
I guess the Daleks have to, like... Oh, wait, you're right, because in that episode, they just sort of pop up. I was going to say maybe the Daleks, like, surgically install it. I think they explained in Asylum of the Daleks that the Daleks have, like, these little, like...
It's a pathogen. Oh, you know what it is?
It's kind of like...
It's nanogenes. It's nanogenes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like the empty child.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, it's the exact same thing as the empty child.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I forgot about the nanogenes. I mean, Asylum of the Daleks is a good episode up until that ending, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? What made the Daleks so cool was them and the Doctor had this fucking relationship.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, I could at least respect the fact that they were going to do something different with it, or that they were trying to, right. And then in this episode, they're just like, yeah, we gave it back.
Well, they didn't do anything with the Daleks after that, because... and here's why Stephen Moffat did it. Stephen Moffat has this weird thing with the Doctor, where he doesn't like him having arch enemies. So what I mean by that is the reason why we haven't had the Master pop, and why he's barely even been mentioned in these seasons, if at all, is because Stephen Moffat thinks that it's stupid for the Doctor to have an arch enemy. And I'm like, why? And in his interview, and he wasn't responding to me directly, but in his interview, he says that the answer is...
when he responded to me directly.
through the channels of time and space, was that he thinks that it's silly and cartoonish to give the Doctor an archenemy. I mean, he backpedals and is like, but the way Russell did it, that was fine.
Oh.
But classic, that was terrible. And I don't know. I can see where he's coming from. Like, the way he does Doctor Who, he likes the Doctor to be very mysterious, very kind of like nobody knows who he is. But at the same time, the Master is a very interesting character, and cartoony? It's Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty cartoony. I mean, at least in its tone. I mean, I think it's kind of stupid to say that about the Master. But I presume that's why he did it with the Daleks, because he doesn't like the Doctor to have arch enemies, which is weird. I don't understand what the deal is.
Yeah.
I don't know. To each their own. That's his opinion, and that's what happens with Who anyway. Is that so many people get to put their hands on it that they all get to throw in their own opinion of how the universe should work and what everything is. So Stephen Moffat has that opinion. He changed the universe to suit it. I mean, it's not a bad way to do it, but it's just a dumb idea.
The other problem is he has this thing about, I'm going to make this change to the universe, and then when the fans hate it, he's like, oh, well, I'm going to turn that right back. Like, we had Victory of the Daleks when he introduced the Mighty Morphin Power Daleks.
I don't mind that, so I'm like, they look cool. I mean, I don't mind the different colors. What, do they all have to look gold? That's what they've been for the past fucking 4 seasons?
Yeah, I didn't mind the colors. I thought that they were kind of fat. But I didn't mind the colors. But a lot of fans really hated it. And I mean,
why? I don't get why. It's fucking the colors. The thing that bugs me on them is the fucking bulbs are smaller.
I mean, I made plenty of Mighty Morphin Power Dalek jokes because...
that is totally fair.
Because who can resist? But, yeah, I didn't mind it so much either. But a lot of the fans really did hate it, that's what all the Daleks were going to do. So what did he do in Asylum of the Daleks? He made it to where they're just like the leaders, they're the head honchos, and the rest of the Daleks look like normal. And then,
which I'm fine with. That makes sense.
And then we get... well, the way he was going to do it before was that each color of Dalek was going to be like a different class. I think it was like the blue Daleks were going to be like the scientific Daleks, and like the white ones were going to be the ones that were in charge. I think the red ones were military. I don't remember. They like each color had a different function. Right,
which is kind of a nice idea because there's clearly an evolution of the Dalek society going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Daleks never had a parliament before.
Yeah, that was his original idea for what he was going to do. But again, the fans hated it. So it's like, okay, those 5 Mighty Morphin Power Daleks, they're the leaders. All the other Daleks look normal. Then he does the same thing in Asylum of the Daleks. It's like, they don't remember who he is anymore. And all the fans didn't like that. So now I was like, okay, we gave them their memories back. It's like,
but if they're, yeah, it's a terrible way to do it, though. You know what I mean?
It's like he wants to do something. I think he wants to change the Daleks in some way. He's wanting to turn them into something else. He's wanting to evolve them. And every time he tries to, the fans are just like, no, we hate that. Turn it back.
But here's the thing. That's fine as long as it's a good idea. And I think that if it's such a good idea that he wants to do it, he needs to say fuck you to the fans and fucking do it. Because the way here's my problem with Asylum. The way it's done, it doesn't seem like an interesting change. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything for the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I said when I said that episode wasn't any, why that ending pissed me off was because it seems inhibitive. Like, okay, it seems like the ultimate way for the Doctor to beat the Daleks, and it's like, oh, we don't have to do any stories with them anymore. But if he would have done a Dalek story in which that their lack of memory would have been cool, then fucking go for it. That's awesome. But he didn't do that. And I know that the whole reason is because the fans jumped down his throat. But if he had such a good idea for it, fuck him.
Yeah,
do it.
That's the same thing with the Mighty Morphin Power Daleks. Because I refuse to say new Dalek paradigm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They are the Mighty Morphin Power Daleks.
Okay, so yeah, that was the same thing with the Mighty Morphin.
So Billy Dalek, no.
I'm pretty sure that with the they need a Dalek Megazord. I'm pretty sure.
Oh gosh, yes. It's just that giant Dalek from Asylum, except it's a robot. No, it's the Nightmare Child.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, the next, if he had later on actually done what he was planning on doing, that whole like new Dalek society with like the different classes and shit, the fans might have, gotten used to it, and they might have seen what a cool idea it was.
Right.
Again, I just thought that the new chassis were a little fat, but that was really my only complaint with the design.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is, see, that's a cool idea, and he should have just, and if he wanted to take it there, he should have just said fuck you to the fans and done it, and then they probably would have been sold on it. It's the same exact thing as making the Master a legit psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been that before. He's always been kind of nuts, but he's never been legitimately insane. And
a lot of fans had a problem with them inserting the whole drum thing that hadn't been there before. But Davies said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And everybody, that the season finale of season 3 is obviously, the best season finale that he ever did. And then later on, when he did End of Time, we actually get an explanation for why the Master all of a sudden has drums in his head that he didn't have before. It's because the Time Lord sent it back during the Time War, because when all that stuff, all the classic Who stuff was before the Time War happened. So
exactly. And so it makes sense why it's never been there before either.
It's weird when you start watching Doctor Who, because you're used to shows where the rules of the universe are set, but in Doctor Who,
that's the thing. Yeah.
In Doctor Who, the rules of the universe are constantly changing. So you constantly have to say, okay, now that this episode has happened, this certain event in the past no longer happened.
It is extremely weird. Like, if you're going to watch Who and you're going to look out for specific continuity, you will lose your mind. Because it's very hard. Like, they're very self-referential, but they change things all the time.
That's why I say the only two ways the two best ways to get into Who is to watch it like I did, watch it from the beginning of the 2005 stuff, and like, you know, so that you kind of like ease into it and you get used to these sorts of things, and the seasons kind of get more complicated as you go along, so you're sort of like, your brain like adjusts to it as you're watching it. Or do like you did, Bill, and watch Blink first, because that speech in Blink pretty much sums it up.
Time is a big ball of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's totally true. That's why Blink is such a good introduction, because it's like, this universe is fucking weird. Here is the simplest it can be explained.
Big ball.
And then
wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. Right, exactly. See, Ian didn't do this when he showed me those episodes, but what I thought would have been funny is if he would have shown me Blink and then shown me the Doctor's wife. Because those are two, like, polar opposite fucking, like, things. Like, Blink, very Earth-centric, very little Doctor in it. Fuck, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. Because my fucking family is downstairs, like, fucking tearing the house apart. So I keep getting distracted. What was I saying? Oh, okay. Blink, very Earth-centric, and the Doctor's wife takes place in a different universe.
Yeah.
On another planet made of garbage, living on a creature that eats TARDISes. So it would have been hilarious, and it'd be great to see if I would still be a fan of the show if it would have been those two polar opposite things.
What could have been worse? He could have showed you Love and Other Monsters.
Oh, Love and Monsters. I don't think I'd be a fan of the show.
I don't either.
If that would have been the case, would have been like, Ian, this is terrible.
Is the whole show like this?
Yes. No. So Dylan, we keep getting sidetracked. So let's fuck it. Let's talk about the thing we want to talk about.
Yeah,
Matt Smith is what?
I was just going to say we've done a lot of talking about Doctor Who, but not about the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan, how did you feel about the ending?
I personally really liked the regeneration.
I did too.
I mean, I know you kind of had an issue with him growing old.
I didn't have an issue with him growing old. I had an issue in the way they showed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just the pure concept of it, I thought worked, because they had to deal with this whole issue of this being his last regeneration, and they decided not to make the Metacrisis a cop out. We now know that was a legit regeneration, so he did lose life.
Thank God. Yeah. Thank God they addressed that. Yeah.
That actually makes one of the big problems that everybody has with that episode not as bad.
Right, exactly.
So they had to address the fact that, according to canon, he should not be able to live anymore. This should be the end of his life. And so him growing old, I thought, was perfect. I thought it was very clever how they actually used the regeneration energy to destroy the Dalek fleet.
That was great. I thought that was a really good idea, because they set it up early in season 7. Is he actually talks about using the regeneration energy as a weapon earlier on when he's talking to the cyber planner?
Yeah, well,
and he goes, if I just regenerate, it'll blow you all out of my mind, because a big burst of it will just destroy you. And I think in that episode he says the part of the brain that controls regeneration is I forget, but whatever, he couldn't regenerate.
Well, River Song did it in Nazi Germany. Right after she had regenerated, she had some residual energy left over in her body, and she used it to, like, take out a bunch of Nazis.
Right, yeah. I've always loved that idea of the first 15 hours you can't be hurt. It makes a lot of sense. But I thought that was a really good idea, that he could just fucking use it as, like, a fucking cannon and obliterate a bunch of Daleks. Here's the weird thing, though. The makeup on Matt Smith is really good. It's very convincing. It looks like an old Matt Smith and turns him into, as I like to call him, Hartnell Smith.
Hartnell Smith.
Tell me he does not look like Hartnell in those last few scenes.
He does look a little bit like Hartnell in those last few scenes.
The long hair and the gigantic bald spot in the middle of his forehead.
That just makes the ending of Adventure in Space and Time all the better.
Oh, doesn't it? Oh, I love Adventure in Space and Time.
Did you finally get to see it?
Oh, we even talked about that. You know what? That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Yes, I did.
Great movie.
So
great movie.
It is a great movie. So here's the thing. So Matt Smith gets up on that tower, is talking to the Daleks, like, we're gonna fucking fuck you up, Doctor.
We're gonna fucking fuck you up.
That's exactly what they said. We are going to fuck you up, Doctor.
Instead of exterminate, they're like, fuck him up, fuck him up.
Fuck him up. I rewatched Dalek last night too. That episode is so fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Obviously.
No, not getting sidetracked again.
Obviously one of the better Eccleston episodes, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I love Eccleston, but he did get some really bad episodes.
That's when the show had first come back, so I mean.
Yeah. I don't like. I mean, the first one, like the first 3 episodes are really hit and miss. Like the first one, it's all right. It's it has the benefit of using an old enemy, so it kind of gets like points in that way. Because it's it's the Autons, so it's like, oh, okay, we remember the Autons.
Yeah,
and then
the nesting consciousness as well.
Right, exactly. That was from John Pertwee's first story. And then you get to fucking episode 2, and it's like, oh, this is a great idea, very poorly executed.
Yeah.
Though the Doctor dancing is fucking hilarious when he's dancing to the jukebox, which is like, burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno.
Is that what they were playing?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they had played. Why did I think they played Tainted Love? That's weird. Anyway.
I think that they played 2 songs. They played Tainted Love, and then they played another one.
Oh, okay.
So it was probably... Because Disco Inferno was played when they were like, watch the earth burn, burn, baby, burn,
yeah, that's right.
Disco Inferno.
That's right, because I clearly remember the part where Lady Cassandra is like, this is ancient music from my, ancestors, and then
like
and then you just hear the beginning of fucking Tainted Love. You just hear the dun dun.
Yeah, oh god. I just love the Doctor fucking dancing to it. That episode's got some good moments.
And he said
I like
he
the
never.
Tree Lady.
And he said he didn't dance later on in the season. I'm like, Doctor, we've seen you do it.
You liar. Oh wait a minute, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. The problem with episode 2 is the story is really boring. Like the way it's executed, like the end of the Doctor taking his... I find it really interesting that the first place he takes her is to watch her own planet die.
It's great.
It makes sense, though, because it's the episode where he tells her about Gallifrey.
It's almost like he's letting her know, look, if you travel with me, you're going to see some shit.
Right. Well, more than that, he's like, I want you to feel the pain that I felt, which is kind of fucked up, but it makes sense.
I want you to feel my pain.
I wish he would have explained it like that. And he used that accent. I want you to feel my... He sounded like fucking Nicolas Cage. I want you to feel my pain.
I'm not going to hurt your Rose. I'm just going to bash your fucking brains in.
Just fucking Nicholson. Nicholson would have been amazing as like the Master or something.
Oh, Eccleston versus Nicholson. I want it. I want it.
Oh, and called that Eccleston versus Nicholson. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, anyway, let me get to this thing about time before I fucking forget again. So, Matt Smith is dancing around as an old man. Tell me you were not reminded of the Six Flags commercials.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, you're right.
It is so... It looks okay... But, at the same time, you're like, that looks like a fucking Six Flags commercial. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I wish they had that music.
Somebody needs to... Somebody watching, take that clip of Matt Smith dancing around and put the Six Flags music behind it.
Put it in the da-da-da-da-da-da.
If you do, we will mention it on the show, definitely.
And we will love you forever.
We will love you forever. Anyway, so that looks kind of silly, but the other one, I thought it was kind of weird. The Doctor at a point kind of comes off as like psychopathic to me when he starts regenerating and he blows up the Daleks, and then his head hasn't started yet, and he goes, "Love from Gallifrey, boys," and he shoots his head up. I don't know why, but that shot disturbed me in a weird way. It's like, oh my God, the Doctor has gone all psycho.
Well, he was.
Love from Gallifrey, boys.
Well, he was senile.
No, it's true. That was sad to see Matt Smith go senile.
Maybe he almost regenerated into Nicholson, and luckily it just didn't go that way.
Love from Gallifrey, boys. Oh, that would have been amazing. He kind of looked like Shining Nicholson in that scene, though, if he was like drastically older.
You were always the best, Rassilon.
Words to live by, Rose. Words to live by.
White alien's burden.
Who would be fucking Scatman in that situation?
I don't know.
I guess it'd be River. River would be his Scatman.
He starts trying to kill River with an axe.
Every time they meet.
Davros is like, I corrected them. And then when my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty, I corrected her too.
I guess Amelia is his, like the kid version of Amy Pond is like his Danny.
Yes. She sees blood coming out of the TARDIS doors.
She sees TARDIS spelled backwards written in blood on the wall instead of the crack. Sridard.
No, it would be Sidrad. Sidrat. Sidrat. She's doing the finger thing.
The TARDIS doors open up and his blood comes pouring out. Oh. So that was weird. But I did enjoy that. I mean, I liked the cop-out, too, where... Because I was nervous. I was like, oh, he's going to regenerate as an old man? That's it? Oh. Because you got to give Matt Smith his swan song.
Yeah, and look, that would have been my only problem with it, but they did exactly what I would have done, and they had the regeneration energy return him to his younger self. And I know that doesn't usually happen, but at the same time...
Well, it kind of happened with Tennant.
At the same time, you don't really have to follow the exact same rules, because he's not just getting a new regeneration, he's getting a whole new life cycle, so we don't really know that's probably why it's so much different than all the other regenerations.
Well, I mean, that's what he says. He says he's breaking it in.
Yeah, and I mean...
It also makes sense that his body might be too old to stand the regeneration. Like, it might kill him just by doing it.
So he needs to get young first, and then... God, Time Lords are lucky.
Time Lords are so fucking lucky.
Fucking Time Lords. They don't want...
Fucking Time Lords.
You never see Time Lord nursing homes.
Time Lords. They're taking our gerbs.
They're taking our gerbs.
Oh, thank God Time Lords aren't real, because if in a multi-expansive universe where alien races meet, that would so happen.
Alan Grant's like, those Time Lords took my job.
What does this mean for you? Looks like we're out of a job. Don't you mean extinct?
Yes.
Don't you mean regenerated? No, not at all.
No, I mean extinct.
I'm losing a job. I'm not getting a new one.
Like, okay, just try to make a Doctor Who reference out of this Jurassic Park reference.
No, you didn't do it right. Listen.
I'm just, See, the thing about, Chaos is,
His fucking Joker, too.
I love Malcolm's technobabble in the book. He gets down and dirty with some science in the book. I mean, he's giving you, like...
That sounds so awesome. He got down and dirty with some science.
No, like, he gives you, like, numbers and shit. Like, you get graphs and charts, and you're like, this is intense.
What is it about?
All of his chaos theory shit.
That seems kind of pointless, though. Does it directly relate to what's going on in, like, the story?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Michael Crichton, is very scientifically minded, so he inserts... It's in the second book as well. Like, there's all this, like, talk about scientific theories and how they relate to what's going on at the moment.
Right. Did you know that he was brought in front of Congress to speak about global warming?
No, I did not.
How weird is that?
Because what killed the dinosaurs?
Oh, that's true. No, if I'm a Congress member and they bring up a fiction writer to speak about global warming, I'm like, wait a minute, I call bullshit here. This motherfucker wrote about fucking dinosaurs coming back to life.
This son of a bitch wrote the Omega strain. What does he know about global warming?
This guy wrote the 13th Warrior. Let's get some perspective here, President, Who would have been Clinton at that time? No.
This is the author of Congo.
Oh, yeah, he did write the Congo. Clinton. It was Clinton, right? Yeah, it was Clinton.
That depends. What year was it?
It was before 9/11.
Oh, then clearly it was Clinton.
It was probably, yeah, because George W. Bush was like literally like right before 9/11, right?
Yeah, he was only president for a year when 9/11 happened, so it would have been a pretty...
Right, okay, so it was Clinton.
We have to assume that it was Clinton, because that's a pretty small window, and I'm not 100% exactly what year Michael Crichton died.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting he passed away.
Yeah.
It was after Jurassic Park 3, though, I think, right?
No, I thought it was before, because if he was still alive, they probably would have had him write a story for it. Like they
No, they wouldn't have. I don't... Well, maybe. But I don't know if he'd be willing to, because Lost World was pretty panned. And he wasn't... I don't think he was totally satisfied with the book. Because the only reason he wrote it was because they were like, hey, we need a sequel.
He should be satisfied with the book. I was quite satisfied with the book.
It's fine. It's not as good as the first one.
No, it's
both film and book.
it's not as good as the first book. I don't like the first book as much as I do the movie, but I like the second book more than I do the movie.
Well, you read it and you gotta wonder how much of it is because of how different it is. It is really different.
I will say that the way it's written in the book, I don't think it could work as a movie, so I understand why they had to make the changes.
I think Alan Grant is more likable in the movie. He's very, like, kind of, I don't know, he's not as identifiable in the book, I find.
They describe the character in the book, and you're like, wow, really? That's him? That's.
Yeah, it's not Sam Neill, let's just put it that way. I think he was described as overweight.
Yeah, he's got like a goatee, if I'm remembering correctly.
Long orange hair. I mean, he basically dresses the same way. Okay, you remember that doctor, that paleontologist from the Lost World who comes with InGen to, like, be their guide about the dinosaurs that are there?
Yeah, the bald guy. What's it? The badass. What's his name?
No, not him. No, that's the big game.
Yeah,
the other guy, the one with the glasses.
You're talking about, yeah, him.
That's exactly what Alan Grant is supposed to look like in the book.
Yeah, the one wearing the hat.
Yeah, exactly. I would not be surprised if that's supposed to be a reference to what Alan Grant was supposed to look like in the book.
The one that gives that asshole the speech about what a compsognathus is right before he, like, tases it.
Yeah, yes.
And the poor compy's just like, don't tase me, bro. But he tases him.
Don't tase me, bro. I need that to be like a meme now. Don't tase me, bro.
The compy?
Yes.
The compy saying don't tase... Because, don't tase me, bro was already a meme, but I don't think I've ever seen the compy saying it.
No, I've never, and I would have definitely seen that as a meme. I don't think the Godzilla meme guy listens to this podcast, but if he did, I'd be like, dude, make that as a meme. I'm going to message him on Facebook later, be like, hey, you should make this as a meme, because that'd be awesome. Right before the guy
tases the compy. Don't tase me, bro.
Right, exactly. I know exactly what shot you'd use, too. I enjoy The Lost World. Let me say this. I enjoy the first 45 minutes of The Lost World. And let me say this, because it actually relates to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Those reviews I took down because the promo got removed from YouTube because of the Jurassic Park theme song got flagged. So I had to take them down to keep the channel going.
I love the shot where they're running to find their daughter, and the woman screams, and then you just cut to Jeff Goldblum in front of, like, the palm tree. And he's yawning.
Oh, yeah. See, as a kid, that always freaked me out, because I was like, ah!
It always confused me. I was like, did Jeff Goldblum eat her?
I think that's supposed to be the idea. I love the more subtle things they relate back to the first one. I love that guy on the train who fucking is like, hey, let me just say this, I believe you. Rawr!
Yeah, I love that guy.
It's weird, but it's kind of cool to see that directly relate back to the movie.
Both 2 and 3, some of their best writing is when they're relating back to what happened in the first movie. Like, I remember the thing from 3 where him and, why can I never remember her name?
Ellie.
Yeah, they're talking about the island, and he asks her if she remembers the sounds that they make.
Oh, that was creepy. I try not... Oh, that was such a good scene. Both movies open really strong. Lost World significantly more so than 3. Like, if 3 did not have Alan Grant, the whole movie would be garbage. But because it's got Alan Grant in that opening, it's significantly more interesting because you get to see what he's been up to since the first movie.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I enjoy the third movie a little bit more than the second one, just because I find it more entertaining.
Really, I think it's pretty ass.
I do too. It's just I find it entertaining just to watch.
Yeah, but I think that your opinion is your opinion. But I think that what makes Lost World a little bit more redeemable is that it's advancing the universe in a way that kind of makes the plot a little bit more. It makes the plot more interesting, I find, and it makes the very basic horror monster movie stuff going on later a little bit easier to forgive.
Yeah.
You guys develop the universe in a kind of cool way. It's not nearly as good as the first one, but it's fine. And then you're kind of doing some generic horror stuff. All right, it's a little boring, but all right,
fine.
See,
that's my problem with the second movie, is that there are large portions of it that bore me. The scene that saves it is the ending. Oh my god, that ending.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with that. The chase scenes and the dinosaur scenes are significantly less entertaining in the second one. I find it's a very small movie. And, notice, how many open plains do they come across on that island? I think one.
Yeah.
And then everything else is in those forests. And it's this is an island with dinosaurs on it. There should be gigantic open plains.
Yeah. Even if there had been forests there, the dinosaurs would have flattened them.
Right, exactly. I mean, you've got fucking brachiosauruses on this island.
Right. Right. The jungle should not be this dense. Let's just put it that way.
No, not at all.
And I mean, let me just sort of backpedal and make myself more clear. I don't think the third movie is better than the second movie, objectively.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I jumped down your throat. I apologize.
I just enjoy watching it more.
That's fair. I shouldn't have jumped down your throat like that. I'm sorry.
Obviously, I didn't state my opinion clearly enough.
I'm sorry. I should have given you a chance to explain yourself. I don't know. I saw the third movie in theaters. It'll always have that for me. I just look back on it now and I find myself bored.
Yeah, I've got the same thing with it where I saw it in theaters. And until this past year, it was the only one that I'd seen in theaters.
Yeah, I didn't get to see 3D. I was kind of pissed because Nicola didn't want to go. She was like, "We have it on DVD. Why do you want to go see it in the theater?" I'm like, "Because it's fucking Jurassic Park on the big screen."
I mean, that was the whole thing, and it was like seeing it in 3D on the big screen was really amazing. The only thing that kind of cheapens it is that obviously watching it in a modern movie theater is a little strange given some of the more dated aspects of the film, especially the scene where the little girl's like, "They've got CD-ROM."
It's like, we have iPhones. You can do that with our fucking phones now. That must have been weird.
That was.
That's why I think it would be weird to watch the original Godzilla on a big screen.
Mm.
You'd be like, "Oh my god, look at that radio."
Yeah, at least they don't give any shout-outs to technology, though.
No, that's true. That's definitely
true. That's the thing with Jurassic Park. It's like, look how advanced we are. We spared no expense. And, computer graphics that I would have had on my Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's really funny. Or no, even more so on a fucking Mac 2. Anyway, we keep getting sidetracked.
Aren't we talking about who?
Yeah. Let's finish up on that because we clearly we talked about this already off recording, but since you were the only one in that Day of the Doctor review that I haven't done a review with, I thought it might be nice to get your thoughts on Wax.
Yeah,
I know you're not going to do a review by yourself. So I figured I'd have to egg it out of you. What'd you think of the actual scene in the TARDIS?
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too.
I think they might have went a little overboard with all the Amy stuff. They could have just had the part where the grown-up Amy walks into the room. They didn't need all that with the little one running around, which clearly is not the same little girl either. That is clearly a double.
Oh, clearly. That's the biggest problem. It's funny that the little girl who played her originally is on Facebook, and she just posted a picture recently of her and Karen Gillan side by side. And I mean, the problem is she's too old now.
Yeah,
I think she's a teenager at this point.
They're cousins, aren't they?
I guess they're related. They would have to be, right? They look identical.
They are. Karen Gillan has said it before that it's her, I think, cousin. I think it's her cousin.
Yeah. Probably. I don't remember. Yeah, it's a little weird. I honestly would say that you could have just done the younger version, in my opinion. Like I don't get me wrong, I like both, but I think that it would have been a little bit more. It would have been a little bit more sad if you would have just seen the younger one running around, because that was the one that, you know, that's the first face he saw.
Yeah, true.
And I know that Amy was his companion.
That's true. That's the reason.
So she had to be there somehow. Yeah.
That's the reason they put it in. Anyways, he has that line about how it's the first face that this face saw. My thing is, I would have been happy with either one. I just think they should have done one or the other. That they really didn't need both. And since that little girl is clearly a double, that's.
The bigger problem is fucking Karen Gillan wearing a wig. It's so obvious, and because Matt Smith, they make a joke about it in the episode, so that's fine. But we don't see Karen Gillan coming, and then she just comes down those steps with that nice wig on, and it's like, oh my god, Amy Pond, what happened?
Yeah, and the wig that Matt Smith was wearing was a very good wig. I couldn't tell. The wigs.
Well, it didn't happen until the end. They lucked out because most of the time it was his real hair.
Yeah, but the wig.
He didn't lose his hair until the end of the production.
But the wig that she wore.
Like, you can tell she probably didn't get paid for that role, because she literally has 2 lines and she pops up for less than 10 seconds. So it's like, you know, let's get some perspective.
I mean,
they probably didn't spend a lot of money on her outfit and on her wig, so she literally probably just went into the BBC fucking vault and whipped out a random orange wig and put it on. I was like, I'm Amy Pond now.
I mean, it's less of a distraction than the young one for me, just because at least I can tell it's the same human being. But
the bigger problem with the young one is she has fucking curly hair on this one, and she didn't in 11th Hour.
No, her hair was pretty straight, and much redder than that. It looked almost like.
Oh, this little girl was like fucking blonde.
Yeah, it was like a strawberry blonde, and I'm like, she's supposed to be a redhead. She's fucking ginger. Just make her ginger.
Mm-hmm. Make the doctor jealous, damn it.
Yes, the doctor wishes he was ginger.
Yes. Oh, that's gotta be in fucking in the first episode of Series 8. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pissed. They gotta keep that going.
Well, I mean, I want to know why he can already tell the color of his kidneys, but he always has to check his hair.
Wait a minute. Why the fuck with the War Doctor didn't he make his own hair red? Because he could choose what he wanted to regenerate into.
Maybe he hadn't developed that need to be ginger yet.
No, that was back old time. That was like fucking after Tom Baker.
I mean, really? Was that when he first said that he wanted to be ginger?
I think so. That's an old school reference.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking of the fact of how after the time where he wanted to be younger, and maybe he wanted to be ginger because he hadn't really been ginger all that much before or something. I don't know.
No, I think that joke was in Classic too. Not like immediately. I'm thinking like maybe after Tom Baker had regenerated into Peter Davison.
Right.
It was a joke.
But I mean, number 6 was ginger, wasn't he?
No, number 6 was blonde.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Colin Baker?
Yeah.
Davison was light brown.
Oh yeah, you're right.
8 is borderline. Like 8 is almost ginger.
You're right. I had looked at a picture of Colin Baker once where he kind of looked ginger. I think it might have just been the lighting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like with lighting, you could argue that fucking Paul McGann is ginger.
You could.
But it's brown, and he's definitely not now. Like when he pops up in Night of the Doctor like that, he looks very, very different. Which one do you like better, his old costume or the new one with the 8th Doctor?
I really liked the one that he wore in Night of the Doctor.
Same here. It was, because it reminded, I love the boots especially. Like those kind of old-timey adventure boots he was wearing, that was pretty sick.
I also like Paul McGann with shorter hair.
Yeah.
At first I didn't know how I felt about it, but yeah. I like him with the shorter hair. It answers the question, can Time Lords cut their hair?
Yeah, I mean, sure they could. I mean, I think John Pertwee did it in series.
He may have, I don't remember.
That would have been the thing. See, this is why there's that thing out there online called the 5 Doctors-ish reboot that Peter Davis had made, where they have they have him, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy go around and try to get into the 50th anniversary. And of all those 3 who could have been in it, Davison and McCoy would have been fine. You cannot put Colin Baker back in that costume.
No.
Oh my god! I mean, what the hell happened?
I mean, John Hurt thought the dicky tie was ridiculous. I mean...
Oh, no, not even. No, I'm not talking about that, Dylan. I'm talking about what that guy looks like now.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. It's a double whammy. Not only is the costume ridiculous by any standard, but...
The costume would have been fine. It's Doctor Who. I'm talking about how badly he aged.
The time has not been kind to Colin Baker.
No. I mean, Tom Baker is old, but at least Tom Baker... No, Tom Baker doesn't look any better. But, that being said, Tom Baker is significantly older.
Yeah, Tom Baker is quite a bit older than Colin Baker. Colin Baker is, like, aging really fast. I'm worried.
The regeneration must have fucked with his actual age process.
I mean, isn't he the one that, like, narrated the Matt Smith thing and he popped up at the end and I was like, Jesus.
Tom Baker?
No, Colin Baker.
No, that's... Wait a minute. Tom Baker is the fourth Doctor. He pops up at the end of day.
Right. I'm talking about the Farewell Matt Smith special. One of the, I believe that's what I was watching, and Colin Baker was actually the narrator, and he pops up. No, it was something else. There was something.
No, fucking Alex Kingston was the narrator.
That's
for that.
right. What did he narrate recently? Shit.
I don't know.
But he did narrate something. Oh, they did a thing about the making of the Day of the Doctor.
Oh, did he? He narrated it?
Yeah, he narrated it.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw that on the official Doctor Who YouTube page, now that I think about it.
Paul McGann narrated a documentary about the Five Doctors, and I saw that, and he has a good narration voice. I didn't even realize. That dude deserves like his own mini-series because he's a Doctor Who fan, but he's also really good at playing the Doctor. He needs his own series.
He needs a little bit more than just being, you know, the one that was in that movie and now that short on the internet, and who was in audio dramas like.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on the audio dramas because I really like his Doctor. I don't like his first costume, though, because it's too similar to William Hartnell's costume.
Right, I think the idea was this was an American-made movie on television, so it's like, we kind of got to give him a costume to sort of introduce who he is to, like, the American people. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, you gotta, here's the thing. It's insanely lucky that movie is even kind of canon. Because originally Sylvester McCoy wasn't supposed to be the Doctor who regenerates.
Oh, really?
They tried to get Tom Baker. And it's like, wait a minute, guys. Is this in continuity or not? If it's not in continuity, do what you want. But if it is, holy shit, don't do that.
There have been, like, 3 Doctors in between here?
Yeah, I mean, well, again, it's whether or not it's going to be in canon. Like, if they did, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get hate for this. If they ever did an American Doctor Who, I would be totally fine with it. I know a lot of people would freak out and be like, "Oh, fuck it, it's going to be terrible." But I don't know. I think it's kind of an interesting idea to do an American Doctor Who.
I don't think they need to now that it's so popular.
No, I mean, they wouldn't now because it's so popular here, so there's no point.
But if they had done it back when it wasn't popular over here, sure, why not?
Well, because my only thing is, get some good American actors to play the Doctor. I mean, like, fucking Bryan Cranston would be an amazing Doctor.
Fucking Jack Nicholson.
Not Jack Nicholson, Dylan. He's retired anyway now.
He could be your first Doctor, you know, the old one.
Oh my god, imagine.
Maybe being an alien is on...
Farewell.
Maybe being an alien is on his bucket list.
Nice. That's internet high five for that. Oh, nice. That was a great reference. I don't know. I think Bryan Cranston would be an awesome first Doctor. Like, give him some like we've seen Bryan Cranston have long hair before. I think like that. Put him in Eight's costume from Night of the Doctor, and there you go. There's your first American Doctor. Do it on AMC. Ensure the quality.
Oh God, make Jeff Goldblum the Doctor. That way you could write tons of technobabble for him.
Oh, that'd be great. There's a bunch of them. Like, there's so many American actors who'd be amazing as a Doctor who they never do because it's a British show. I'm trying to think of other ones. Like fucking, oh God, there's so many. You need somebody who's really good at talking.
Morgan Freeman. No.
Oh, gosh, yes. I'm the Doctor. I'm the oncoming storm. I'm 907 years old.
But I am not Nelson Mandela.
I'm not... I couldn't believe that. That was fucking hilarious. He died. Oh God, I'm not dead, you asshole.
But I saw a picture of Nelson Mandela recently on like a magazine, and I gotta say, I can see where people would make the mistake.
I can definitely see it, but it is kind of dumb. Like, fucking look up the name, you idiots.
Let's just say there's a reason that they cast Morgan Freeman as Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. Elba, too. Elba does look like him as well. I want to see whatever movie... I think it was actually called Mandela, whatever movie Elba played him in, because I want to see that. But speaking of, like, British movies, Dylan, let's talk about this briefly, because we're already far in, but Adventure in Space and Time. I dug it.
Yeah, I dug the hell out of it.
My favorite part, fucking Hartnell comes home after being replaced, stands over the fireplace. I don't want to go. I almost cried. I was this close to crying.
Yeah.
I was really close to crying.
I liked the only thing I wish they had done is like, well, I kind of wish they didn't. At the same time, I'm glad they didn't because I'm not sure how it would have worked. But I wish they had addressed the three doctors in some capacity, like just at the end have a scene of him coming back to film that. But at the same time, it's very much the story of his run on the show.
Yeah, it's definitely those first 3 years.
And so
that would have been a short section though, because he's barely in the Three Doctors.
It's like, we're gonna film you talking to this camera. You're never even gonna see the other actors.
No, he took photos with them. He interacted with them, but he wasn't in it with them in the show. I mean, he couldn't have been. He was on death's door when that fucking story was being shot. Like, it's incredible that he made it that long.
Yeah.
That when you and I know that's terrible to say, but it's true. You watch Space and Time, and you see how bad he was when he fucking left. He could barely memorize. He could barely remember his lines.
Yeah, that, and he just became a terror to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the scene where he just like jumps down that guy's throat because he doesn't know how to make the little glass thing in the middle of the TARDIS go up and down.
Right. But you gotta, one thing that they do that I didn't expect is how passionate he was for that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like that show was kind of his baby, and you can totally see why he was so hurt when they did the regeneration.
Yeah.
Like, you watch it in those first 3 seasons, not if you subtract everything you know about the show now, it was his baby.
I mean, if you're an actor now playing Doctor Who, you know that at some point you're not going to be playing Doctor Who anymore, and there's going to be another person playing the role.
And David Tennant talked about in an interview how depressing it is because he watches the show in addition to having been on it, and he was talking about how now he talks to people like his kids who are just like, or does he have kids? Whatever. Like to younger people who he knows, and that Matt Smith is the doctor to them, and he's not. He's talking about how depressing that is.
Yeah.
And it would be, you know what I mean? Like it's like you were this character for so long, and you were so many people's doctor, and then some younger guy came along and was like, "Woo, Geronimo!"
Yeah, but even more so for Hartnell, because like I said, actors today know that they're going to be replaced.
Right, definitely.
With Hartnell, it was completely out of the blue. I mean, when the guy says, "Hey, we need to do some things to make the show more fresh," Hartnell's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking we should change this and change that," and the guy's like, "Yeah, actually, we're getting rid of you."
But I did like that they used the word regenerate in that scene. We're trying to regenerate.
Yeah, that was neat.
That was a nice little thing they threw in there. I want to know how accurate it is.
I do too.
Because here's the thing. It's a great movie. I know for a fact they had to have fucking colored certain things, though, to look a little bit more romantic than they were probably. Just, it's a narrative version of the story of Doctor Who.
Yeah. And
they warn you. They say that there's a fucking disclaimer at the beginning of the movie where they say, through space and time, things get altered, and maybe it's not as important to remember the specifics as the meaning, which is totally fine. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how fucking accurate it is, because it is a very romantic, and by romantic I mean like very, very kind of rose-colored look back at the story of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I really want to know how.
It's your typical soppy biopic.
Yeah, and that's not to say that's not a bad thing.
No, and I usually don't care for that sort of thing, but in this case, it really works.
Well, it's legitimately heartwarming in this case. I just want to know how accurate it is because I know it cannot be 100% accurate.
How did you like the appearance of the Cyberman?
That was great. The Daleks were even better because of how people were bitching about it.
Yeah.
Favorite part of the whole thing, when everybody gets turned around on the Daleks being creepy. Because that's something that happens when you're not into the show. When you're getting into it, you look at the Daleks and you go, "Those things look so fucking stupid." And then you get into the show and you're like, "Oh my god, those are the scariest things in the universe."
I just love the scene where that producer is like, "Your bug-eyed monster's got whatever the ratings was," and he's like, "I guess I was wrong."
That was a great scene because she was literally like, "Fuck you," and that character was great too. And she should. I hope that a lot of these people get awards for their performances because the performances all around are fucking spectacular.
Oh yeah, everyone in this movie was quite good.
Especially with hats off to David Bradoff as William Hartnell. He became William Hartnell.
My biggest problem, really, is that the guy they got to be Patrick Troughton looks nothing like Patrick Troughton.
No, I mean, clearly he must... I'm convinced he was a guy who happened to be on the fucking set, and they were like, "You look kind of like Patrick Troughton. Put this costume on." He's way too young.
And he's like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "Just put it on."
Just put a frown on and you'll look like Patrick Troughton. He was way too young.
He has a significantly more skinny head than what Patrick Troughton did, and so when he's wearing the wig, it looks huge.
Yeah, that's true. He looked nothing like Patrick. He sounded nothing like Patrick Troughton.
And thank God he's only in the movie for like 5 seconds.
Because if he was in it, like if they would have done the Three Doctors, it would probably be more noticeable than it was.
My thing with the Three Doctors is it would have been cool to see a scene like that, but at the same time, I don't know if it would really fit in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, and they did a set photo as kind of a thank you to Mark Gatiss who wrote the movie. And he's a big Doctor Who writer, and he writes Sherlock, and he plays Minecraft on Sherlock.
He plays Minecraft on Sherlock? That's interesting.
No, you made this joke already.
I did?
Wait, it was either you or somebody else, but I keep saying Minecraft. People are like, "Oh, Minecraft." Yes, he plays Minecraft on Sherlock on Doctor Who. That'd be weird.
He plays Minecraft on Doctor Who.
No, he actually played a role on Doctor Who. He played that businessman from the Lazarus Experiment. The one time a Doctor Who plot didn't involve aliens.
Oh, that guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the only time there have been no aliens?
At least in the new series. I mean, to name one other time where they do a story that doesn't involve aliens at all, except for the Doctor.
You're right. The classic series.
In classic, they did it quite a bit.
Yeah, you take the Aztecs. There's no aliens in that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that dude's whole thing was that he didn't want monsters. He wanted educational programming. So.
Right. Exactly. It was like he wanted Doctor Who on Discovery Kids.
Basically.
Like, if that guy was a modern producer, he would have went to Discovery Kids and be like, "So I've got this idea for a cereal." And they would have been like, "We don't do those anymore." Well.
Wait, no, he'd be like, "I have an idea for a cereal. Go to Kellogg's."
Go to Pilton Bradley. Oh, no, that's a fucking game producing company.
Should have just stuck with Kellogg's, Bill. And he's just like, "No, I mean a show. I mean
I mean a picture." You mean like a painting? Go to fucking, like, Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol's Doctor Who. Imagine it. I want to see that now. We saw his Frankenstein and Dracula. Now I want to see his Doctor Who.
He cast Peter Cushing.
Yes. It's insanely sexualized. Have you ever seen his fucking Frankenstein and Dracula movies?
No. They're
called Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula. They're basically porn, but they're fucked up porn. And I couldn't sit through either of them. They're so fucking weird. The acting is atrocious.
And they're so porn.
Well, I mean, they're very experimental. You have to, if you're gonna watch it like porn. And whatever that means for you, make it mean that for you. But it's also weird, fucked up. It's not basic porn. It's like weird, fucked up porn.
Somebody's gonna take your advice on that. They're gonna go watch this movie. They're gonna like.
God damn you, Bill! Now I have to go to therapy.
They're gonna go watch this movie. They're gonna light some candles beforehand.
Run a bubble bath. Oh, God, I really hope nobody took that literally.
They're going to grab...
Two days later. Bill, my son is in therapy because of your advice.
They grab their Godzilla fleshlight.
Oh, God. We got... oh, my God. It's going to happen one day, kids. The Godzilla fleshlight. It's coming, literally. Adventure in Space and Time is fantastic. Oh, but anyway, my point. They did a set photo to say a thank you to Mark Gatiss, and he played John Pertwee, which is why I thought the Three Doctors was covered in it.
Oh, okay. Because you had asked me this before. You were like, "Don't they do the Three Doctors?" I was like, "No, they don't." And you're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Pretty sure."
I didn't believe you. I was like, "Are you sure you watched the right movie, Dylan?" Like, how many other fucking Doctor Who movies are there about the story?
Yeah. How many other movies are there about a guy playing William Hartnell?
You'd be surprised. No.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. So, they did a set photo with him, the guy playing Hartnell, the guy playing Troughton, and him as John Pertwee. And he looks nothing like John Pertwee.
I guess children in the 60s had no conception of the fact that the guy's name isn't Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, they did that forever.
Everybody in the movie's like, "He's Doctor Who," and I'm like, "No, he's the Doctor."
He's not Doctor Who. Even he says that.
Doctor Who is an Asian guy.
Or a British guy who works in American film.
Yeah, he's either a British guy that works in an American film and somehow invents a TARDIS, or he's an Asian guy who, deals in kaiju.
I want to see a crossover between all three. Doctor Who versus Doctor Who versus Doctor Who.
Rated PG-13.
A family picture.
A family picture. Doctor Who, Doctor...
The toys, Dylan. Imagine the toys.
Doctor Who versus Doctor Who versus Doctor Who, the porno spoof. A family picture.
Rated NC-17. It's animated.
It's really crappy Flash animation.
It's fucking subtitled because they couldn't get any of the actors.
The characters' lips are moving and then nothing's coming out. You're just reading the subtitles.
It's like a silent movie. Oh my god. I want to see this now.
Oh yeah, and then you get like upbeat, like silent movie music.
Yes.
Like you would have in like a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Oh my god. Oh, we've had fun tonight, Dylan, here at the Demons from Outer Space.
Yes, we had extreme ADD this evening.
We did. We couldn't focus at all. We didn't even talk about Time of the Doctor.
I did. For about 5 seconds.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. It was like we've talked about it already, and I don't know. You liked it, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it wasn't a perfect episode. Obviously, it had some issues, and my only problem with the regeneration itself is the face change. It is very fast and very jarring.
Yeah, it kind of. The only thing is that it kind of fucks with the emotional impact of Matt Smith leaving. Say what you want about Tennant's regeneration, but it is, if anything, emotional. I mean,
I guess the thought behind it was that he's already had the big explosion of energy, but they could have...
it makes sense. It's just weird.
They could have at least done, like, a face morphing effect instead of just having him sneeze.
Well, they could have made it slower. Like, just have him, like, start kind of wincing, and then it just goes... and he's there.
I would have settled...
Terrifying-ass Peter Capaldi.
I would have settled for a fade, like in The Wolfman. Give me something.
No, like classic regenerations, where they had the TARDIS sound effect play, and he would regenerate with a fade.
Oh, some of them classic regenerations are just weird.
And one of them, they even fucking played the theme song that accounted for the regeneration sound effect. It was like, whee! It was like a slide whistle thing. It was weird. Oh, now I want to hear the Doctor Who theme played on a slide whistle.
Yes.
Ooh. Somebody out there who plays the slide whistle, play the Doctor Who theme on a slide whistle and send it to me.
Just play the theme on various instruments and send it.
Fucking xylophone, a recorder.
Give me a fucking harmonica version of...
I'm sure it exists out there. We're just too lazy to look for it. Anyway, so I think that's gonna do it. I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Again, sorry we didn't do an episode last week. For as far as we know, we're back on regular schedule, but we were just off for the holidays. But unless anything happens, like, I don't know, the apocalypse happens or, you know, something will happen. Something will happen that'll fuck this up. I know it. But unless it doesn't, then we're going to keep going with the regular schedule. Be sure to check out the Sons of SERIZAWA podcast coming back this weekend. This is the only time we'll have 3 episodes in a row. Just because we had some in the backlog. So we're going to do an episode this weekend. That'll go up on Monday. But I don't know. Dylan, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be bringing Kaiju Spotlight back from its holiday hiatus, hopefully soon. So.
Mm-hmm. And I never say this, but fucking go subscribe to this guy. This guy is a good guy, man. He produces content occasionally, but he's a good guy.
Occasionally.
Go subscribe. Kaiju Spotlight is a great show, so if you want to get that show whenever it comes out, go ahead and subscribe to him for that.
Just don't come if you like regular production schedules, because I have none.
Yeah. But here's the thing: the more people who subscribe to Dylan, the more active he will become. And he'll disagree with me on that.
I am not prepared to make that promise.
Right, but maybe if Dylan gets like 50,000 subscribers, if you get like 50,000 subscribers overnight, like you can't tell me you would have the same exact mindset the next day.
Probably not. My thing is I try to get at least 2 episodes out per month. Sometimes that doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes that doesn't work out, but that's what I shoot for. So. Yeah,
and you can also kind of blame Andres and I because we're constantly asking Dylan for art. So.
Yeah, blame those motherfuckers. Yeah, I'm just going to pass the buck, so.
Exactly, it's all our fault. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this episode of the Demons from Outer Space. I'm Bill Worcester, a.k.a. Zazubaar.
And I'm Super DM64.
And them Germans, they been fucked up!